How we doing, everybody? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, ready to give you more and more bangers for March Madness. So I am recording this on Wednesday. I got 4 picks for you guys between tomorrow and Friday for March Madness. All 4 are legitimately mathematically profitable bets specifically for March Madness, filtered for college basketball, filtered for main markets, and for Thursday and Friday. So I'm just looking at main lines for these college basketball games, so you can sweat out some main lines. Again, all of these pulled from OddsJam from the positive expected value page. And the first play that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Oral Roberts versus Duke. We are taking the under 147 at minus 110 odds at Caesars. So I found this play obviously on the OddsJam positive expected value page. It's a good mathematically profitable bet. All of the value is derived from these no vig odds that you see in this column here. So like for every single play, right, there's going to be odds under the no vig odds column. But for spreads and totals in pretty much any market where the sports books, there's going to be different prices, right? Like not every single book is going to have this total at 147. If you look and you click into any positive EV play, it pulls up odds for where every sports book is pricing it. We only see 3 other books even have odds for the under 147. So I know that there is going to be some sort of value because, again, it's on the positive EV page and the no vig odds have this priced at about minus 113, essentially, if we can round up from minus 112.66. But if you open up the event page in a new tab, which I have done here, it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing the total for this play. So again, for main lines like spreads and totals, you're going to want to look into these odds and see where every other sportsbook is pricing a play. And we can find some absolutely insane value when doing that. Just compare the Caesars line of under 147 at minus 110 odds, right? It's their main line. It's at minus 110 odds, which is pretty much where every sportsbook prices spreads and totals. Look at the holistic market view and where every other sportsbook prices this. We have one book that prices their main line a half point lower. That would be PlayUp. Honestly, I don't know who in the world doesn't have Caesars but does have PlayUp, but if you're one of those people, it is still a good under to take at 146.5. But we're taking the under 147. And then look at the majority of sportsbooks have it between 146 and 145.5. That's a point to a point and a half lower. Now, when you're comparing your bet, again, the Caesars one, you want to look at the sharp sportsbooks. And when I'm talking about sharp sportsbooks, there are 4 main ones that I'm referring to: BetOnline, Bookmaker, Circa, and Pinnacle. With Pinnacle given the heaviest weight because it's the sharpest sportsbook. Well, Pinnacle prices this total at 145.5, a point and a half lower, right? They have their main line at 145.5. BetOnline has it at 145, 2 points lower than our total. Bookmaker and Circa both have it at 146, 1 point lower than our total. So again, this under 147 on Caesars is an absolutely insane price. Now, for those of you that aren't a serious sports bettor or are a new sports bettor, you're probably wondering, why does it even matter if I'm getting like a point or 2 point difference? Like, what are the chances that it's going to land exactly at one of these totals? And I understand the question for sure. But for those of you that have been sports betting for a while, everybody watching this has got by the hook where they have under 146.5 and it lands at exactly 147. Or you have the over 146.5 and it lands at exactly 146. Part of sports betting is maximizing the edges you have over the sports books. So maybe 1 out of every 10 bets this will matter, or 2 out of every 10 bets. But over the course of time, that's 20 bets out of 100. That's 200 bets out of 1,000. That can literally be the difference between being a profitable sports bettor and a non-profitable sports bettor. So getting these totals and these spreads, even if it's just a half point, which in this case, it's like a point and a half up to 2 points, different than the sharp sportsbooks, is a huge, huge deal in the long run. So play number 1, we are locking in Oral Roberts versus Duke under 147, minus 110 odds at Caesars. Next up, we are going in one of the 1 versus 16 seed games, and we are locking in Alabama minus 23 against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now, again, similar logic here. We got it at minus 113, at minus 123. Only 2 other sportsbooks have odds for this individual play, but if you open it up in a new tab, which I have done here, you see the same thing with this play as the other one, right? We got it at minus 123, and let's identify the sharp sportsbooks. Pinnacle has this at minus 24.5. BetOnline also at minus 24.5. Circa at minus 124, and it looks like Bookmaker doesn't have pricing for this one. So we have 3 to go off of, and all 3 have this a full point to a 1.5 higher, meaning a bigger spread than what we got it at minus 23. So this is another really good play here. Alabama minus 23. You want to lock this in at minus 113 odds at all of the Canby books. So it's BetRivers, Barstool, Unibet, and TwinSpires. Another really good price. Same logic as the first one. We're just taking advantage of sportsbooks that have mispriced odds. That's play number 2. Play number 3, another total play. We're looking at the over 151 in Auburn versus Iowa. You can get this at both PointsBet or the Canby books. So again, PointsBet or BetRivers, Barstool, Unibet, TwinSpires. We locked it in at minus 110 odds. OddsJam Perfect Line has this at minus 112. And if you open up this one in another tab, you see the same exact logic as before. So we're taking an over, right? We want to make sure that the sharp sportsbooks have this total priced above our number. Starting with Pinnacle, they have it a full point higher at 152. BetOnline, also at 152. Bookmaker, also at 152. Circa, even better at 152.5. So similar logic here. All 4 sharp sportsbooks have this a full point to 1.5 higher than the number we are getting it at, representing some awesome value. So Auburn versus Iowa, total points over 151. And then the last play we have here is UNC Asheville plus 18 against UCLA. This is at minus 108 odds at WinBet. Looking at the value here, the gap between our bet and the other sportsbooks isn't as big as some of the previous examples. But again, even these half-point differences are still very valuable. So we got it at minus 108 at plus 18. Pinnacle has this at 17.5, and they also still favor UNC Asheville at that number, right? Like they have the UNC Asheville number plus 17.5 at minus 112. The other side of that at minus 101. So not only do they have it, the spread, a half point better, and better for us, right? Half point lower, but they still favor the underdog, UNC Asheville, at that number. And then all 3 of the other sharp sportsbooks, BetOnline, Bookmaker, and Circa, have this at 17.5 as well. Now, BetOnline favors UCLA, but Circa favors UNC Asheville, so those 2 kind of cancel each other out. And then Bookmaker has it at even money. So for my 4th and final bet for this video, we are looking at UNC Asheville plus 18, minus 108 on WinBet, and that's it. So 4 bets for you guys to lock in for March Madness. Definitely recommend tailing these. If you do, comment and let me know. Other than that, please remember to like and subscribe. Hit me up on social media at my Twitter handle. You see on the screen here, also in the description of the video, and that's it. So appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.